Welcome back. Part 2. Yeah, nobody gives a shit about this guy. He's just hanging off there like, what the hell? Help me, motherfuckers! Ah! It always amazed me. This intro is by Nick Dobkin. If you were to still frame through these animations that he's done, and he just did a new animation for Phase 3, which is what I call the website in the series after I've just finished 13. If you just like still frame through this intro, the amount of detail in each one of these intros is unbelievable in its accuracy. Even the games on my shelf, at least at the time, when the intro was made, is just fucking incredible. The sprites, the pixel art on the right, I think that's a relatively new addition. I don't remember when I had those added. It was probably right around this time. I made those. Not all of them. I think what got me started was some of the Final Fantasy VI ones I found on Etsy, and I bought them. Oh no, you know what it was? Is I bought Edward and Tella from Final Fantasy IV, and because I wanted the kind of use Spoony Bard thing, so I bought those two, and it kind of inspired me to learn how to do that myself. They're called perler beads, and what you do is you get like almost like a light bright or a pegboard, and you put the beads on there and you arrange them however you want, and then you get like wax paper and an iron, and you iron them, and the beads melt and they stick together, and then that's how you make pixel art. It's not a trench coat, by the way, it's a duster, but whatever. I just like saying superpower trench coat. No holes in the coat. Later scenes, anyway. Yeah, so it's really not that hard to do the perler beads, but yeah, I made pretty much all of them, and I even made a gigantic sign that says use Spoony Bard, which I've hung over the two characters, Edward and Tella, which was way harder than you'd think, because that one had to be spread over, like, I think it was 5 or 6 different little pegboards, and making a large pixel art type thing is really, really hard, because you have to, doing a small one is easy because you're just kind of putting, even heat across the pixel art. When you're doing something that's like 2.5 to 3 feet long, it was probably about 2.5 feet long. When I'm doing that, you have to like put heat all over that thing and make sure they kind of melt, the beads kind of melt together evenly, so otherwise it just falls apart. But yeah, I did the Team Rocket thing, and I did most of those. So yeah, I was really happy with the way they came out, but you can easily kind of fuck those up, and the level of meltiness is kind of down to personal preference, so it's actually not that expensive habit to get into, or hobby, not habit, whatever. But I haven't done that recently. I kind of did what I wanted to do, and you can kind of do it. You can make up your own little plans, so you don't really need to be that artistic, because I am really, really not the type to do arts and crafts. But it's pixel art. The pixels are kind of done. You're just kind of following, the pixel designs. I'm just kind of following a pattern. It's fine. It's done. Anyway, this is part of what I was talking about when it comes to how poorly things are explained, how kind of invisibly this game is bad. Terms aren't explained, places aren't explained. They just kind of throw words at you. They kind of throw places at you, and you're just like, oh, okay, oh, that's a Fal C. All right, that's cool. The Fal C especially really frustrated me because I still don't know what a Fal C is. I've played these games, and I don't know what they are. They appear to be like robots, but like robot gods. But here's the problem. They don't have a consistent look. So it drove me nuts as I was playing this game, and I'm not being an asshole here. I was really trying to understand this game. I wasn't trying to nitpick this game. I really wanted to know. was like, okay, we went into the, you know, the first time we go into the giant fal'Cie, the big green thing. They were like, oh, stay away from that fal'Cie, it's dangerous. And I'm like, okay, so stay away from the big green thing. That's a fal'Cie. Yeah, it looks dangerous. It looks all pointy and demonic and shit. Okay. And then they go inside it, and then they fight the big crystal vagina thing inside with the arms, and they're like, we're gonna say hi to the fal'Cie and fight it. And I'm like, okay, wait, is that the fal'Cie or is the green thing the fal'Cie? Because now I don't know. Are they? I don't know. And then you have, you know, Bartandalus, who is also a fal'Cie. Then you also have, you know, Carbuncle, who's... None of the fal'Cie have a consistent look. I've been told that some fal'Cie are fucking doors. There's the one that is the sun. You know, it produces sunlight. So there's... I don't know why there's a bird. You know, there's apparently some fal'Cie the size of fucking planets. So, like, I don't know what they are. There's no consistent look. So you have to explain these things. You have to at least give me a touchstone of who and what they are and what they look like. I don't know a fal'Cie when I see one. Does anybody know a fal'Cie when they see one? Are they like Decepticons? Are they robots in disguise? Again, I'm not being an asshole here. I want to know. Like, if you... Would you know a fal'Cie if you saw one if you lived in this universe? Or, like, if... Are they always huge? Or like I don't know. Fuck's sake, yeah. I still don't want to spoil this, and this is the like. I don't want to get into Final Fantasy 13-2 right away, and yet I do, because this is just... There's two reasons I want to get into it right away, and I can't tell you what either one of them are because they're so good. But the first one is the Chocobo. Yeah. Yep. It's true. Oh, there it is. That look. I can't see it, but I totally can. Yeah. It's so stupid. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in the history of fiction. And think about how... I'm not lying. I am not lying. It's the dumbest thing ever. But the fal'Cie, you know, I just wanted to know what they looked like, and so they just keep pointing at things and go, oh, that's a fal'Cie, that's a fal'Cie, you know, and so I just have to give up. And there was so many things I just had to throw my hands up and just say, okay, I surrender. I don't... Random shit! I've been learning Japanese. This is the worst writing I've ever seen in my life. I have been learning Japanese. Slowly, to be sure. But I am learning how to speak it. And again, I am serious about how the You Are the Demons thing is a better story, because at least it has a three-act structure. Short one, but yeah. But I'm learning Japanese, and so I actually am speaking Japanese after a fashion in that sketch with stereotypically drunk Mexican 90s cyborg otaku kid. Who, by the way, somebody cosplayed when I was in Finland. That is dedication, my friend, and I want to give a shout-out to you if you're listening. That was the best costume of the con. I salute you. You have the Spoony seal of approval. You are the #1 fan in Finland. That is amazing. Nobody else who is not a Spoony fan will understand what the fuck that costume is, but it is still the greatest costume of that con. Yes, somebody cosplayed as the stereotypically drunk Mexican cyborg 90s otaku kid. Amazing. How did that costume come about? I literally just walked into my my closet of costume and props, and I looked for the stupidest shit I hadn't used yet. So I went to a Party Central a long time ago, and I bought a sombrero and like a really, really gaudy sombrero and like a poncho and stuff like that. I had a bottle of actually I think that's a bottle of whiskey from Smiling Jack. I can't remember. I had the robot arm. I was gonna upgrade the robotic grabby thing, but I just grabbed that. Sorry, Highlander 2. It sent me into the Crimson Rage. But yeah, I just grabbed all the random shit I could, and then I just named it whatever. Although I'm certain that nobody even understood the whole MD Geist thing. I will try to explain the MD Geist thing. When I was a lad, I say that when I was in junior high, this was in the 90s, early mid 90s. Yeah, okay. In the early 90s, you couldn't get anime. This was before anime really caught on. When I say you couldn't get anime, the only anime that you could reliably get was stuff like Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Vampire Hunter D. Really, 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 really basic stuff. You know, the bare minimum of like Ninja Scroll. You know, everyone had Ninja Scroll. Everyone saw Akira. The bigs, you know, the bigs back in the day. Not that those were bad. I'm just saying, like, unless they were the huge ones, and you got them on VHS, and that was it. That's what you got. You could import them, but you had to import them for like $35 to $40 a tape. You could not watch, like, if you wanted to watch a series, good luck with that. Just good luck with the fucking getting a series, because you know the only place I knew near my house that had any kind of anime was a Suncoast Video, and they just had like sporadic videotapes from the middle of the series. I think the only series they really had was like Ranma 1/2. But I had a friend named Eddie who kept trying to get me to watch really, really shitty anime, but he loved it. You know, he was like, I don't know, he was a big otaku guy. You know, if it was from Japan and it was anime, he loved it. And so he's like, he comes to me and he goes, hey, Noah, I just saw the fucking greatest anime ever. Oh my god, I fucking love it. And I go, what is it? And he goes, it's called MD Geist, man. MD Geist. It's like the bloodiest shit ever. It's so fucking violent. It's great. And I go, MD Geist? Yeah, he goes, MD Geist, man! And so, I watch MD Geist, and it is so fucking stupid. It is just like if you just, like, bottle testosterone and dumbass, and then just, like, sprayed it on a VHS tape. It is just, like, the dumbest male empowerment bullshit ever. It's just about a big, grim-faced dude in, like, black armor in the future shooting people. And when he shoots people, it's that kind of anime where people are filled with, like, extremely high-pressured blood. So he shoots them and they explode. And he shoots a lot of people and they explode. So at the end, everyone's dead. And MD Geist goes back to being grimdark. And so, like, I watched this and I'm like, that was fucking stupid. Let's watch Ninja Scroll again. You know, so yeah, MD Geist. He was such a fan of fucking MD Geist. And then he found the sequel. There were 2 MD Geists. He fucking loved it, man. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was ironic. I have to hope it was ironic. But yeah, he fucking loved that fucking show, or whatever. Oh, I don't even know what you call it. But yeah, fucking MD Geist. So that joke, just for me. I wasn't even just for me. I just wasn't even thinking. I was just thinking, like, I was just thinking, like, that was just the first anime that sprung to mind when I was thinking, like, early 90s shitty anime. You know? And so, like, I just had the, you know, Mexican otaku kid just say, like, do you want to watch, you know, do you want to watch, no, he says, I think he says, I like MD Geist, that's it, you know, yeah, watashi wa MD Geist suki desu, yeah, he just says, I like MD Geist, you know, so yeah, he likes MD Geist. I cannot explain this. Most of you haven't even fucking heard of MD Geist. And no, it's really not worth a review. Despite how, I mean, I've made it sound much more interesting than it is. It's just stupid. It's just like, it's almost just like that Rambo skit in UHF, where it's just like, ah! Ah! You know, that's pretty much all it is. And again, that skit is more interesting than MD Geist. It's just boring. At least that's what I remember. And, you know, Hassel Bennett does the... he did Mad Bull, and so he did it much better than I ever could have. Anyway, you'll notice I'm talking about anything more interesting than this game. It looks like the giant, it looks like the giant, Jesus statue. You know? It actually kind of looks like he's doing a Nixon thing, you know? Like, I am not a crook. No. Doing the peace sign. Anyway. Talking about the Purge. I guess I have to bring up Holocaust imagery since we are loading innocent people into trains. But I always find it interesting that the support for the Purge is overwhelmingly positive from the populace at hand. You know, if you're related to one, if you're related to a Lissy, if you're friends with one, if you are near one, if you live in the same town as one, not only are you purged to Grand Pulse, everyone is pretty much behind it. So, I wouldn't be surprised. Hang on, did I repeat the Sarah Count 3? Ugh. I don't know. If I did this review as bullshit, stop watching immediately. But yeah, the Purge is overwhelmingly supported, which is actually somewhat disconcerting, and it places the heroes in kind of a unfortunate. I still don't get this. I don't know. I think they just did it to look smart. Anyway, it kind of has a weird connotation attached to it. The fact that that they're pretty much villains this entire game, and you know, despite me making fun of how they've been killing people, nothing they've done has improved their image at all. Every single thing they've done has appeared to be and has pretty much been villainous in nature. I don't know how they can ever show their face in public even after this whole incident. You know, all they've been doing on TV is killing cops. You know, I don't care if they've been part of the machine. I don't care if they're stormtroopers and stuff like that. The public overwhelmingly supports these guys. And so they're on national TV just butchering these guys wholesale. And, you know, I'm making fun about them them orphaning children and stuff like that. Their public relations image is not good. They've you have Snow shooting, threatening to kill everyone. He wasn't, but that's what they remember. He's directly they attack a racetrack. Still don't know why, but they were. And at the end of this, I don't know why. This is still a disaster. And as far as the world knows, they caused Cocoon to fall out of orbit and get butt fucked by a giant crystal spike. And we don't know the extent of the damage that caused. Can you imagine the damage? Like, we're like, oh, everything's okay, Cocoon is saved. Yeah, right. There's still like a 4-mile diameter crystal spike got rammed up the ass of Cocoon. How'd you like that if that was through your fucking house? You know, that doesn't just happen, and nothing bad happens to the, you know, bad shit happened. You know, some people were in a hospital when that fell. You know what, I'm not supposed to think about that, obviously. But anyway, what's also kind of amusing is that, if I remember correctly, in 13.2, this will be in the review, obviously, so I'm blowing my own joke, but, yep, they should be dead. In 13.2, the use of magic is commonplace. Like, apparently everyone can use magic now, and I don't know why, except it's probably just a plot hole. But, like, people can just use magic now, and you don't need to be a Lassie anymore. But you can. But apparently this is this is commonly accepted now, which, over the span of a few years, is like, okay, so you've gone from the overwhelming public support of purging anyone to certain death on Grand Pulse to just casually casting spells in public, you know, without. So that's just remarkable and disturbing. I don't know. The public is fickle. When I first started playing this game, this really threw me for a loop because I have no idea what in the hell this thing is supposed to be. Never could figure it out. The only thing that saved me from going just full on batshit on this thing is that we never really see it again after this point. The folding deer antler whipstick. Yeah, you get more of those. Like, you get more staffs that lash out because they improve her stats, but, like, you never see her use them. Because, and this is funny, after everyone becomes a lessee, they all have certain roles assigned to them. So, Vanille does not have the commando role when she becomes a lessee. And commandos are the only class that actually has the attack command. So, becoming a lessee has made Vanille forget how to attack. So, yeah, after becoming a lessee, Vanille no longer knows how to, like, throw the deer antler whipstick at people. So, until you get, I believe, until you get her commando roll back, which you will probably never do, you will never see her throw the little whipstick at anybody again. So, like, after this dungeon, you'll never see it again. So, I guess I just never thought, you know, I just let it go. I really shouldn't. I never mentioned the shrouds again either. I thought I would never use those as much as I ended up doing, or I saw other people doing. There are times when you really, really want to use those, because some fights are fucking impossible. Especially if you're going to try to take on some of the harder fights, which are almost always optional. There's like, seriously, like an elephant the size of a fucking LA Convention Center that you can fight. There's absolutely no reason to do it. Like, none. But except just because it's there. Seriously. You just fight it because it's there. And really, like, one of the only ways to beat it is to just repeatedly cast the death spell at it, is to get Vanille high enough level, I think, in Saboteur to cast death, and just pray eventually that it sticks and kills it instantly. That's pretty much your only chance. So you want to kind of go Decepticol or whatever and just hope you can hit it fast, because it'll stomp you. Favorite scene? But I always found it funny that in this game, most of the hatred, the most hated characters in this game almost always seem to descend on Vanille, most always Hope. Most people thought that Hope was, like, really whiny, like, indecisive, and I can see that. This is one of my favorite bits, but yeah. You grin like an asshole. I love that bit. Anyway. I always like you grin like an asshole, but yeah. People call Hope out for being whiny and indecisive, you know, and kind of, you know, waffling at first, but, you know, I didn't mind that so much, because, let's face it, this kid is traumatized, alright? Plus, we've got this guy who can punch a tank in half, so would you want to go after this guy with a knife? And 3, he's one of the only characters, let's face it, he's one of the only characters with a character arc. Like, I'm dead serious, like, it's only him and Saz. Like, the comic relief character has probably the best character arc in the game. He's, like, one of the only characters you care about getting his son back. Him and Hope, because, you know, they have something to fight for and accomplish. You know, whereas Lightning and Snow, you want to actively see fail. But Hope, you know, I'll take Hope, because he wasn't really whining. You know, I've seen whiny fucking characters. Whining to me is like, yeah, my feet hurt, let's go home, I don't want to be here. You know, his parents are dead. That's not so much whining as that's like, he's actually kind of vengeful in this case. Now, he's a kid, so, you know, his war face ain't exactly that convincing, but he's got to work up to it. I'll cut him some slack. Vanille is much more deserving of hatred than Hope is, definitely, because, 1, I hate insufferably perky fucking people, and she definitely is that. 2, the voice gets on my nerves. And 3, I don't know if it was the directing or the actress doing this. It was probably the directing, but she does kind of like this moan acting type thing, like sotto voce, like utterances under her breath to kind of punctuate her emotions. I'll try to explain. It's like, somebody will, like, she'll be like, Hope, let's go, okay? And then Hope will kind of look disinterested and kind of wander off because he's not feeling it. Like, you know, his parents are dead. So Hope will wander off and she'll look worried and she'll be like, oh, oh. And then she'll obviously be like looking for a way to cheer him up, like thinking of a way. And so she'll make a noise like, like the noise of, I'm desperately thinking of a way to cheer him up. And then she'll make a noise that indicates I've thought of something. So she'll be like, and then she'll run over to him. So like she does that through like the entire fucking game, and she's like the worst one. Like they all kind of do that, but she like 95% of that acting is her. And like that maybe this is the character, that could be the actor. I don't know, but it really fucking pissed me off. I don't know why. But immediately I latched on to Snow and Lightning as the worst characters in this game. Lightning not so much because she hits Snow a lot, but Snow because he's terrible. He at no point does he learn any of the consequences for his actions. You know, he gets people killed. He's leading people to their deaths, and at no point does he seem cognizant of the costs or the suffering or the consequences of him and the responsibility that he shoulders. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'll have more to say about that in part 3, definitely.